Yeah, I personally love that. I mean, not only did you solve the problem of it being, not as accessible in the past, but I feel like after reviewing the website and going through everything you guys have on your social media platforms, you're also solving a huge problem for the average American. So how are you able to, find the gap, and fill those gaps that are needed?
Yeah, so I think that's really why I think there's this misconception that trusts are only for rich people, right? And so that's been one of the hardest things to overcome from the very beginning of starting this. We knew we could create the best product. We knew we could create a product that we have an entry level, like free version. It's super simple. You can do it from your cell phone in less than 5 minutes. It's so easy to do. You can do it while you're multitasking, right? And
Mm.
so we really try to dumb it down. It's like, all you're doing when you set up a revocable trust is you're deciding who should inherit your assets if you pass away or you become incapacitated. Like it shouldn't require $3,000 in an attorney, right? And so I think the hardest thing for us was determining, how to take this to market, how to get mass amounts of customers to use this that may not think that they need a trust. I think most Americans, they think they need a will, right?
Right.
And so we that's one of our kind of our marketing pitches is a revocable trust is better than a will.
Hmm.
Wills aren't, the rich people don't use wills, they use trusts, right? Because trusts skip probate court. If you have a will and you die, that will has to be processed through the probate court system. And probate, takes on average 18 months, and it's going to cost your family tens of thousands of dollars. And not only that, but it's public. Anybody can turn up and make a claim for your assets in probate court. Literally, my neighbor can show up at probate court and say that I promised him half my inheritance, right? And so this process is extremely painful for families, and it also causes a lot of disputes between family members. It tears families apart. And so, I think there's when we wanted to figure out a way to bring this to mass market customers, really what we did was we narrowed in on a specific use case for the trust. And that's why if you look at our website, it's the easiest way to put your home in a trust because we've narrowed in on homeowners. We said for most Americans, the home is the most important asset that they own. It's the most valuable for most Americans. It's the most valuable asset that they own. There's something like 80 million home owners in the United States. And so instead of saying, oh, create a trust and do whatever you want with it, now we're being very specific. You put your home in a trust. That's what you do with it. Because if any asset's going to have to go through probate court, most likely it's going to be your home because those on average are going to exceed the probate thresholds. Every state has their own probate thresholds. So for example, for California, it's like $180,000. Most homes are above $180,000 in value. So they're going to end up in probate court. And so that's, that it's all about how we position this product that's allowed us to get it to the mass market customers, to your point.
Mm. That's fantastic. So by way of backstory, Saied and I started off underwriting loans, right? And we were looking at wealthy people and how they had their financial profile set up. We saw that wealthy people over and over again had trust. We saw that their primary occupancy, their residence, was almost always in this trust vehicle. And we saw what happened when they pass away. So it goes from revocable to irrevocable because now your testator, the person who made the trust, has died, and you have this irrevocable trust, which still is living and carrying on after you've died and carries out the expectation of the trust. Now, there's different ways that it gets all sent out to everybody you want, but the trust being on title gave you a clearer, cleaner track record of what happens to it. And then, like you said, you avoided probate. But yeah, that's a brilliant strategy. Saied and I talk all the time that for the majority of Americans in the United States, the majority of their net worth will come for their home price appreciation and the equity over time. And that's a fantastic way to start. So I know for a lot of products with social media carrying a huge advertising base, people get on social media, they look at their phones, they go, okay, hey, I want this. Are you finding that most of your user adoption is coming that way, or is it outbound marketing? How does a client find you in most cases?
Yep. So when we started this company, it was 2 years ago. So right when the economy started to take a nosedive, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so the first, and from our prior experience at Carta, like we saw the old Silicon Valley model of Carta raised $1 billion in venture capital and just spent money all over the place on marketing and advertising and sales. And so we knew that building a company during a recession, we cannot be that type of company. We have to be smart. We're not just going to go spend money on Facebook ads. And especially talking to investors in the very beginning, no investor was going to give us money if we told them we were just going to spend it on marketing. They don't want to hear that, right? So we had to come up with scrappy, organic ways of growing this. So, first and foremost, our number one strategy for customer acquisition is building the best product that exists, that the cheapest, easiest to use product. And so something like 30 to 40% of our customers today come from word of mouth. So somebody signs up and then they go tell their friends and family about us. And so we always knew that needs to be our number one method for customer acquisition. That's why we have a free product. Like literally, you can create a free trust in less than 5 minutes with Get Dynasty. And so we knew that was going to be the most important one. Second to that, we started experimenting with short form video, TikTok, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts. So we started out with me just making some. I'm a terrible actor. Like
I was going to say, I'd love to see you on TikTok.
Oh, I'm terrible. I'm like, because I like sales, but I do not like talking to myself in front of a phone, like just staring at myself. Like it is very, very difficult for me to do. And so we did a little bit there. I had some videos that, I think got like 100,000 impressions. TikTok is a little bit easier to go viral, I think. And so, we got some good traction there. And since then, we've actually invested in like creators. We get actors to come in and we write scripts for them. And we actually have had some that have gone, like 500,000 organic impressions on TikTok. And it's the same type of thing. Here's what the rich people do. You should do it too. Here's why every single home should be in a trust. Here's why trust is better than a will. A lot of the content that actually goes viral for us is also talking about irrevocable trust. So that's our premium product, right? So the mass market product is this free revocable trust product that helps you avoid probate court. The premium product, that's what helps you protect assets from divorce and lawsuits and creditors. And so that's how we actually make money. And so the short form video has been very effective for the irrevocable trust. But our number one strategy for customer acquisition today is actually partnerships. You mentioned you come from like the loan industry. That's what we're doing. We're partnering with mortgage brokers. We're partnering with title companies, and we're embedding ourselves into the home purchase process, so that when somebody's buying a home, their mortgage company will ask them, do you want to put it in a trust? Because if so, here's a free way to do it in 5 minutes. You can get it done right now, and the home goes straight into a trust. You don't have to transfer title after the fact, right? Brilliant. And so that's the number one form of customer acquisition for us today. We're going the partnership route, B2B. And we have a really solid partnership that we are launching with a big mortgage company, Guaranteed Rate. I don't know if you're familiar with Guaranteed Rate. They're like the third largest independent mortgage broker in the country. And we have some other very, very big partnership opportunities that we're launching. And so I think that's going to be our number one form of customer acquisition going forward. But we're always going to be focused on the product. So, word of mouth is super important as well.
That's a fantastic entry point too, because that's when most people should be thinking about it, given that that's their, biggest asset. So I know that I personally, whenever I talk with people with trust, and even myself as an attorney, there's lots of things that get confusing. How much of your time is spent educating clients on what a trust is actually going to get them? Because let's be honest, nobody gets a financial literacy course in school, and you might hear these things and have like a general high level of understanding, but it's rare someone goes, oh yeah, I know what an irrevocable trust is.
Yeah, no, it's very difficult. This is one of the hardest things. I think we try to create as much educational content through the short form videos as possible. At some point, we're going to embed those videos directly into our application, so that when you're using it, we haven't done that yet. We're a small, scrappy team. But I think, videos are going to be a good way to educate people. Other than that, we just try to create as much content as possible. We can't talk to everybody, right? Yeah. We have thousands of people signing up every single month for our platform. And, we've basically said, if you're coming in for free, you can't talk to anybody. If you want to talk to somebody, you have to sign up for our subscription, which is $99 a year, still super cheap. And so those individuals were able to, we have a customer support team. We're able to answer basic questions for them. We can do it pretty quickly. Like, our customer support team, we set up 15-minute phone calls with our customers. Within 15 minutes, we can tell them exactly what it does. We can tell them how to get their assets into it, and give them the level of confidence that they need to use the product.
Right. So, and I know earlier you mentioned that, you can actually go onto the website and actually get a trust for free literally today. That's not an exaggeration. You go on there, it literally says $0, right? That's one of the options. And the other one was a fee of $99 a year. I don't know what it would be for the irrevocable trust, but also on the website, I saw that it said that so far year to date, you guys have saved families $1.3 million. Is that basically from saving them from going to probate?
Yeah, no, not even actually. The
fees.
savings that we calculate is based on the normal cost that it takes to set up a trust, right?
Wow.
And so even if you go with like the cheapest online options today, LegalZoom or any of the other companies, you're going to be paying like $500-$600 to create a paper trust that you then need to go back to them to update, and they're not going to help you transfer your home into it. That's the most important part. A lot of people think they can just create a trust and they're done. No, you got to put your home in it.
Yeah,
you actually
title.
need to transfer the title.
Yeah.
That's the hardest part. None of the online trust creators help you do that, which is why attorneys are still used the majority of the time. And so that's where we're further innovating. We're working on automating that process. So not only are we embedding into the home buying process, which makes it so nobody has to do the actual deed transfer, but we're also automating the deed transfer for people that have already bought their home and need to transfer it with the county. And so that process is extremely manual today. It's a great opportunity for us to get in there and create automation and make it easy and cheap.